I threw this in more about the breath, because the breath and the auric field interplay with each other, right? The mind follows the breath. The key to controlling the mind is controlling the breath. Pranayama is energy management. And I really like that terminology of energy management versus controlling the life force, but energy management. Kundalini employs a wide range of pranayama techniques using rhythm and depth of breath to affect and manage different states of health, consciousness, and emotion. Students are often encouraged to hold focus and suspend the breath on the inhale and the exhale. Breath suspension can be, I need to add a can in there, can be slow and gradual as it is reconditioning the nervous system. When you first start working with the breath suspension, taking the inhale and suspending the breath, you may feel a rise, and that's in the next part, rise of your blood pressure. And when you're experimenting and playing with exhaling the breath out and holding the breath out, that we're not as used to, and that can bring up a lot of different sensations. Typically, fear is what comes up around that, or some anxiety. So work very slowly and very mindfully on that, and don't push yourself too far, too much. Take your time. Breath suspension allows for integration. Do it carefully as the breath in raises blood pressure, the breath out lowers and relaxes circulation. It takes time to get used to holding the breath out. The suspension of breath is a basic level of mastering the breath. It is done in a relaxed way, not hard. Inside, the muscles of the diaphragm, ribs, and abs are soft. So if you're practicing with breath suspension, and we use it a lot in the Kriyas, where I'll say, inhale, suspend the breath, hold your focus. If you start to feel any hardness around the chest, the ribs, or the diaphragm, stop holding and just breathe normally and naturally a little bit so that you don't cause yourself stress and tension. Are we good to move on? Questions, comments? Everybody's like, it's Sunday, Tina. There's a lot of information yesterday. It's a lot of information today.
One question.
Yes.
It's Adriana. People have been talking about, a few of my friends have been talking about auras and their colors. Do auras have colors? Is that a real thing, or?
It's believed to be a real thing. When I took the picture of my aura, I might be able to find that real quick here in just a moment. When I took a picture of my aura, there was colors in the aura. My aura had a lot of green in it, and green signifies healing energy. It typically has the colors of the chakras in it. So that's kind of how you can see what's going on. There was a lot of people that were taking, my daughter's aura was more oranges and reds and yellows. She's 11, so that would, see how that would make sense, that she's 11, so she's still very much, at that time I think she was 10, getting to know her tribe, and she was at a new environment, but she still had some yellow coming in to express her creativity. So yes, when you take pictures of the aura, you can see colors of the aura.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you when we start going out and doing things again, festivals and things, if you see like a spirit fair, a lot of times they'll have that machine that takes pictures of the auras there. Let's see, I've got 2 more. Yes, they have colors. That is very cool. Yes, yes. Let's see here. Adriana, did you hear, am I saying your name right? Yes?
Adriana.
Adriana, were you tuned in whenever I talked about the singing of Satanama and the work done at the Alzheimer's research? Yes. Yeah. I thought of you yesterday when you brought, I looked at it and I wanted to post that so that you could have that in your toolbox. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So better with Bandha. There we go. It's a title for you. Mula Bandha, root lock. Gently yet firm contraction of the sphincter, the anus, but do not squeeze the buttocks. If you're squeezing into the buttocks or squeezing the vaginal walls really, really tightly, you're going in a little deep for that. Isolate the contraction around the sphincter and notice how that engages the pelvic floor to a firm and lifted sensation. Feel how far it goes up into the pelvis. Keep in mind that what we're engaging is more the perineum wall. And okay, so the vagus nerve goes all the way down to the perineum. And so the perineum wall is just in front of the anus and just behind the genitals. So when we firmly pull in, engage the sphincter, if you practice that, you could do it right now, you can feel how it starts to draw everything else in and up. But, you know, a lot of times I think because they're usually called locks, and we hear the word lock and we're like, you know, that's a little much. We just want to seal that energy in, bring awareness to that area, and pull the energy upwards. Uddiyana Bandha, flying up lock. Now let me read it, and then I'll tell you a little interesting factoid about that. Focus on the navel point. On the next exhalation, pull the navel in and notice the feeling of the diaphragm moving up, in and upwards towards the ribs and lungs. There's a flying upwards action with the diaphragm that allows an opening and spreading of the ribs and a lift of the chest. With your chakra system, the lower triangle from the navel point across and then down to the perineum wall, pelvic floor, the lower chakra system, 1, 2, and 3. That's your lower triangle. The upper triangle chakras would be, they start at the throat, the 5th chakra, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And so this would be the upper chakra from shoulder to shoulder up to the top of the head. For sure, upper chakra triangle. Now, and that can also like turn this way, go this way. You know, it's your upper triangle, your lower triangle. So that's your lower chakras and your upper chakras. Your heart chakra sits right in the center of the two. And it's the bridge between the upper chakras and the lower chakras. So when you're pulling your root lock, Mula Bandha, and you pull that energy, and maybe you visualize it. If you're not able to feel it, visualize it coming up into the navel point. And then we pull the navel point in. As you work with these bandhas more and more, you'll start to feel the action of the diaphragm having that flying up action that spreads the ribs, lifts and opens the chest. An interesting fact about it, and this was a real game changer when I read this, was visualizing that from the navel point, you're taking that in and it's coming up, flying up along the vagus nerve, the sushumna, flying up and plugs into the heart chakra. So now we've taken the lower chakra system and we've plugged it into the heart chakra. So now the heart chakra then plugs in to the 5th chakra, and the higher chakras and the lower chakras are balanced together. We're plugged in. So visualizing that flying up lock more so that it's also flying energy upwards to plug the lower chakras in to the heart to then plug into the upper chakras. Jarlanhara, the neck lock bandha. Elongate the entire spine from the tailbone up, continually reaching up long through the back of the neck and through the neck, and then slightly pull the chin towards your throat. So you might even have like the double chin. Refrain from dropping it down here, way down to the collarbone, but instead, then like pushing in a drawer, tucking in a drawer, pulling it in. Mahabandha, the great lock, engaging all three internal locks without tension or pain. Locks can be gently engaged to benefit the body greatly. Specific bandhas are encouraged in Kundalini yoga. Be gentle and kind with yourself as you're practicing with these bandhas. I had, when Doris was here yesterday at the end of class, she was sharing that she's having some trouble holding the bandhas throughout all the kriyas and the whole thing. Yeah, me too, Doris, right? It's a lot to focus on. You're focusing on your crown and your mantra, and then you're not engaging the bandhas. You engage the bandhas, now you're got to go back and focus on the brow point. It's all a practice. So be gentle and kind with yourself. And remember, we've got the three minds there to help us. The negative steps in and goes, oh, hey, not engaging those bandhas. And your positive mind could come in and go, oh, yeah, thank you for reminding me that. I'm going to pull my bandhas. And the neutral mind could be in there going, good job, you two, working together, right? So that's kind of how the three minds can work. Be kind, ahimsa, all day, every day, as much as you can, be kind. The navel point is a place where all life begins. When students are asked to bring awareness to the navel point, it tones the vagus nerve, plexus, by bringing awareness to the area. It's about 3 fingers below the belly button is really that navel point area. But anywhere, if you put your hand around the navel, focus on that region. This area is a prime area of energy and strength. There are kriyas just for, it's called nabi kriya, just for the nabi, the navel point, where you strengthen that center of your body. Here's a picture of the bandhas. You've got the Mula Bandha root lock, the Uddiyana Bandha flying up lock, and then the throat lock, Jarlinhar Bandha. Chakras. Okay, so I think we're good on that. So I don't see anything in chat. I'm going to keep moving on. If anyone has any questions or would like to share anything, please feel free to do that. Floor is open. Use your 5th chakra. Feel free. All right. Chakra means will. Chakras are energy wheels or vortexes. They exist as dynamic energy. So yesterday, when we were discussing about people that were feeling some excessive prana in the back, that pressure in the back and so forth, oftentimes we think of the chakras just being primarily on the front side of the body, but they're energy wheels within us, radiating on the front side of the body and the back side of the body. So a heart chakra isn't just on the front here. A heart chakra is also behind you, the shoulder blades, in between the shoulder blades, around the rhomboid muscles and stuff like that. Understanding the chakra system helps us to better understand ourselves. The first 3 chakras are known as the first 3 chakras are known as the lower chakras, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And the lower chakras, and the 5th, 6th, and 7th chakras are known as the higher chakras. There we go. The 8th chakra is the electromagnetic field. The 4th chakra, the heart chakra, is the point that balances between them and shifts from the me to the we. Right? I got that out. That was a little rough and bumpy, but the heart chakra shifts from the me to the we. The 5th chakras, the first 5 chakras are associated with each of the 5 tattvas: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. The upper 3 correspond to the more subtle realms. Prana powers the chakras, clearing blockages, maximizing the functions of the mind, body, and spirit. The chakras affect our perceptions, feelings, and choices. Awakened Kundalini energy travels through the chakra channels. Subtle energies known as Ida on the left, Pingala on the right, travel up the Sushumna, which is the subtle energy line along the spine. Those energies that run along the spine and energy meridians in general are known as nadis. You've got like 72,000 nadis, we believe, something like that. And they're not the nerves, they're the energy channels or meridians that run throughout the body. We're still doing well? Nothing in chat, okay. So here's some chakra definitions. On your root chakra, grounded, stability, physical, survival. Sacral chakra, emotions, relationships, sexuality, self-worth, creativity. Solar plexus, personal power, will, energy, metabolism, effectiveness, self-esteem, social identity, happiness. Heart chakra, love, understanding, trust, hope, openness, compassion, balance. Throat chakra, communication, sound, vibrations, self-expression, listening, ability to communicate. Third eye point, psychic ability, channeling, telepathy, astral travel, connectedness or consciousness, connectedness to higher self. And your crown chakra, universal consciousness, all-knowing, cosmic connection, God source, enlightenment, gateway to other dimensions. On the other diagram, you can see how it lines up with your lumbar spine and organs and systems. You can see the related functions here on the side as well. Are you all able to see that? It's really small print, but can you see it? Okay, yeah, a little bit. It's very, very small print. Do you have questions about the chakras so far, or would you like me to go over this diagram in any more detail? I'll look at the chat and see. I don't see anything, so I'm going to keep moving on then. Okay. Yes, Dina, moving on. All right, so this one's got, it's also very small. When I try to blow it up, which I can, but then it starts to distort all of the words. This was a nice image to see the Ida and Pingala moving up the spine. The Ida is the white serpent-like energy moving up the spine. On the left, the red, or excuse me, the orange is the Pingala. And then you can see the Sushumna going up as well. I liked this diagram to give a vision for, especially for those that are, visual learners. This gives that idea of how the energy serpentines and crosses up and moves through our chakra system. Okay, so where did I get these spine chakra images from? I just Googled, I just put in, free images and put in chakra. And some of these started popping up, and then I picked the ones that I really liked that I thought would give a good description. So we can see here, let's see. I am going to go to the next one. This one gives a better, that's a little easier to see, yes? So we've got the root chakra, honors the earth. They're kind of the splenic chakra, honors the creative. The solar plexus honors life force. Heart chakra honors the heart. Communication is your throat chakra. As we get up to the third eye, honors the psychic. And crown chakra honors spiritual connectedness. The second chakras, they have like an affirmation that goes with them. Your first chakra is to be here. Your second chakra, to feel. Third chakra, to act. Fourth chakra, to love. Fifth chakra, to speak. Sixth chakra, to see. And the seventh chakra is to know. And I do want to, the more understanding you have around the chakra system, if it interests you, it is very helpful for when you're tuning in to see what's going on with you. And especially as a yoga teacher, now I caution you, it's not like you're going to say, hey, you got something going on with your throat chakra, right? Refrain from that. But just notice if you have somebody that has trouble making an audible breath. That would be going into your throat chakra. You know, that ability to make sound, or not liking to make sound during chanting and things like that. These are things just to guide you along, not to judge the person from, not to criticize them from, not to try to fix them or any of that stuff, but just to have the knowledge so that you as a teacher can serve them to the highest good for you, for them, for all. Let's see, there is a chat. Can we absorb blockages from other people we love? Yes. Empaths tend to do that. When people are very empathic, they tend to take on other people's stuff. And I want to caution you to be aware of that. One thing that you can do is if you're feeling something and it doesn't really feel like yours and you're not quite for sure where it's coming from, you could ask, is this mine? Where is this coming from? And you can always return it back to sender, right? I had a teacher that used to say that, when people send you gifts and you're resonating around something, I don't want to accept that gift. We're going to return that back to the sender. It's not mine. And it's a good practice to get into. Oftentimes, it's not ours to fix. It's not ours to do, right? You need to stay in your lane. Now, if a person asks you specifically for help, different story. That's a different thing. But just to jump in another lane, you want to really be careful to do that. The stronger your auric field and the stronger your sadhana practice, your personal practice of whatever that is, meditation, chanting, breathing, yoga, tai chi, walking, gardening, whatever it is, the stronger your auric field around you, the less you take on and absorb other people's stuff. Now, I would say with children, that gets really challenging until they're about 21 and fully developed in their frontal lobe and fully adult. Until then, remember, women, we all have the arc line that goes from ear to ear, right? We all have that arc line that goes to ear. But women have the arc line that goes from nipple to nipple, to the heart, to help us with mothering and just it's feminine energy. Kundalini yoga is a feminine Shakti energy kind of yoga. Yes, if you're an empath and you're not protecting yourself, which you can also protect yourself with stones, with crystals, with affirmations, with meditations, with mantras. But if you're taking on other people's stuff, now, like I said, with a child, it becomes more challenging because naturally with a mother, their inner auric field, they're an extension of us until about the age of 21, right? You could feel pain. I get this. I've had healing years ago. Yes, so sometimes you take on other people's stuff and it's not yours. Yes. So Erica, we can talk more about that because of course that would be very, very common for you. So things, kriyas like this that move that energy around the throat or alternating, stuff like that, neck turns and so forth, help to open up and clear that chakra. Okay. Leah, I know that I think I saw that you're here. Do you have anything to bring in or chat, or just want to throw it out there?
Oh, hello, dear.
Hi, love.
How are you?
We're on chakras and
Yes.
taking on other people's energy and how we're going to protect ourselves from that, and especially as yoga teachers.
Right. So I think everything that you've said is beautiful. And I think probably a lot of yoga practitioners do have a lot of empathic personality. So it is very easily, it's almost a permeability of the aura and energy centers when you're an empath, unless you take precautions through your own very, very deep sadhana. Okay. So that means that you recognize your own personal limitations and needs, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And you endeavor to do those practices every single day without waver. Those are your grounding points, those are your stabilizing foundations, so that when we go out in the world, as we will, and we are faced with other energies, which we will be, which we have no control over, we have magnetized our spine, our chakra system through the practice of Kundalini yoga, pranayama, Ayurvedic dinacharya, all sorts of things that can magnetize our spine to be operating at a balanced point, no matter what is coming our way. And then, of course, being in complete awareness constantly, breathing, thoughts, emotions rise, they come, they go. We cannot take on another person's emotional output, whatever it may be, good or bad, right? So if somebody comes and gives you so much praise and you're so amazing, you're the best yoga teacher we've ever had in our life, and we want to be around you and stuff too, that is also a possible wavering from our midpoint, from our center point. So we must be aware of the things that bring us out of center, right? Everything comes and goes and is ephemeral except for that center point. So I think you're doing beautiful, Tina. It is just a thing that people who are called to practice yoga have to remember. We have to be careful of our environment, both the physical environment, the mental environment, right? Our relationships with people. That can include family, it can include work, it can include the things that we watch on TV or the type of music we listen to. I think once even Michelle, probably, I can't remember if it was in a class that we've all taken together or not, was talking about how influential music is, right? And so we listen to certain types of music and that creates emotional response within us. That can throw us off center too. And we are listening to the emotional, manipulations of whoever wrote that song. And that's okay. It's beautiful, but we have to be aware of these possibilities as practitioners of yoga and recognize our own, what is this music bringing up in me? What does this TV show bring up in me? What does this relationship bring up in me? And we have to always be aware of those and then endeavor through very, very deep thought and introspection to only continue to practice the things that are bringing about our higher self, which is remaining in that state of equilibrium. So of course, yes, stones, crystals, mantras, there are lots of things that we can do to help strengthen that. But that's really very individual too, right? It depends on your own daily practice and sadhana, what you need, what you are influenced by on a regular basis, where you are in your life, in your relationships, in your environment. So it's very complex, but it's also very simple, right? It's also very simple. It's about going inside and meeting the you that is not the name Tina or Leah or Olga or any of these other beautiful people that are here. It is meeting the you that is unwavering and unmanipulated by the external energies of this ephemeral world that we are apparently living in. So to remember that and to be gentle and careful and kind with ourselves and not to block, right? It's not about changing your whole life and getting rid of things that are negative. It's about gently strengthening yourself and flowing towards the things that continue that strengthening, and the rest will gently fall away as it's supposed to. I don't know if that was your question.
Yay. Oh, that was beautiful. It was wonderful. Yes. And I'm sure they were like, oh, we got to, to hear a perspective from someone else. It had to be very nice for those tuning in. And Leah, that was beautiful. It was wonderful. Yes. Yes.
Beautiful, Tina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Very, very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. And I like that Leah brought that up, because today when I was on the mat and I was practicing, I had my, it's kind of a yoga station I like to listen to, but one particular song was not working for me. And I recognized that. And as soon as I said, stop, I felt so much better. So like Leah said, we're taking it, all in. And the more we practice our sadhana and we get tuned in, the Adi Mantra is one of those things that could definitely help you, because it's asking you to tune in to your higher self, asking you to tune in to your teachers and your guides, it's a form of protection. It's going into the auric field so that you can become better aware, like Leah was saying, when something feels like it's not yours or you're taking something on. Okay, I've got some stuff in chat, so yes. Oh, see you, Leslie. Thank you so much. Good night. Okay. I wanted to bring up numerology just briefly because it is a part of Kundalini. And when Michelle asked me to do this presentation, it was kind of like an all things Kundalini, so that you guys could have an idea of all the different facets of the Kundalini yoga system. And one is numerology. And yogic or tantric numerology has its roots in ancient yoga and tantric teachings, developed to illuminate the path, skills, and nature of a human soul. Tantric numerology provides an effective means for you to align with your higher self and excel via the technology of Kundalini yoga. The real gift of yogic numerology system is its quickness, simplicity, and accuracy. First, it establishes an understanding of one's strengths and weaknesses, and then it identifies how to improve the areas of weakness and utilize those strengths more effectively. Yogic numerology is not the answer to all questions, but a simple, elegant tool. Yogic numerology is based on the total being as understood through the 10 bodies and the number 11, the embodiment of all. You are more than your physical body, soul, and mind. In order to be whole, we must get to know all 10 bodies in ourselves and learn how to integrate and coordinate them. The process of self-mastery of each body teaches you to consciously access all the parts of yourself through the application of yogic numerology and the technology of Kundalini yoga. You have the ability to change your life. If you are interested in numerology, knowing more about yourself and how to balance your doshas, your pranic body, your subtle body, your three minds, the 3ho.org website will do numerology for you for free. I also believe, and I'm not quite for sure, but I think there's also numerology in the Ayurvedic philosophy, right? There's many different avenues and facets of numerology. The one that I know about that I can teach on is the numerology through Kundalini yoga. So let me check chat. So again, Lee, if you want to put anything in chat or chime in on that, if there is indeed, I can't remember. It seems like I could be thinking of the Ayurvedic astrology, though.
Hello, dear. Yes, I'm not familiar with Ayurvedic numerology, although Ayurveda is really the science of life. I like to just remind people that it's the science of your life, your entire existence as a human in this current manifestation of reality that we're experiencing. So numerology can be considered right? So anything can be considered when we're thinking about
Excellent.
how our personal, physical, mental, spiritual relationship with the world around us is possibly manipulated or affected. And so, but yes, maybe you were thinking of Ayurvedic astrology as well.
I could have.
Mm-hmm.
But still, thank you for chiming in, Leah. So the 10 body system in Kundalini yoga, we have 10 bodies. So for the most part, I'm going to read from my book here. For the most part, human beings identify with their physical body and think of themselves in physical terms, or perhaps at best as a physical body and a mind. The truth is that the human being is made up of 10 bodies: the physical body, 3 mental bodies, and the 6 energy bodies. Your first body is your soul body. The second body is the negative mind. The third is the positive mind. The fourth is the neutral mind. The fifth body is the physical body. The sixth body is the arc line. Then you have the seventh as the aura. The eighth is the pranic body. The ninth is the subtle body. And the 10th is the radiant body. When we get to know these bodies, the first soul body is like heart over head, has to do with humility and creativity. And the question around that would be, is my life a creative flow from my soul's purpose? Do I come from heart? The negative mind, protective mind, is the longing to belong. Containment and obedience goes along with that. And the question around that would be, can I determine if there is danger in a situation? What do I need to consider? The third body, the positive mind, expansive mind, double or divine, equality and positivity. And the question is, am I open to all possibilities that life has to offer? Do I let these into my life? The fourth body, the neutral mind, the meditative mind, cup of prayer. Yesterday I spoke about the cup of heart, the cup you place in your heart, and what you fill in your cup is what you give away. Universal law, we can only give away what we have. And this neutral mind area of the meditation mind, we've got service, compassion, integration. And the question around that is, do I allow myself to perceive and act upon inner wisdom? The physical body, the fifth body, is the teacher balance body. Sacrifice, balance, and teacher. Do I use my strength and assets for the good of all? The sixth body, the arc line, person at prayer, justice, protection, projection. Am I able to manifest my goals? And do I do so with integrity? The aura, the seventh body, platform of elevation, mercy, security, and love. Questions around that. Do I feel security in universal love? Am I unhesitating in uplifting others as well as myself? The pranic body, the eighth body, finite to the infinite, purity, energy, fearlessness, self-initiation. Do I fearlessly embrace life? Do I have enough energy to fulfill my goals? The ninth body, the subtle body, mastery or mystery, calmness, subtle, mastery. Am I subtle and sensitive, and can I penetrate beyond superficiality? What is the real purpose of life? The 10th body, 1+ body. So the radiant body is the 10th body is known as 1+ body because it's your soul plus your radiant body. All or nothing, is the quote. Royal courage, radiance, and nobility. Is my life an example of courage, royalty, and creativity? So I bring this up because there's actually a kriya in the beginning series of Kriyas for students and balance the 10 bodies. And through the help of things like numerology, if you decide, if you're interested, if it sounds like something fun you would like to play with, it's just another tool. These are all just tools. It will show you where you need, what would you need to strengthen, what you need to work out or work towards. In my case, it's my pranic body. My pranic and my physical body are two bodies that I have to be very aware of, keeping strong and keeping clear in order for me to feel more balanced. Now, I work on all the bodies, but those are the two where I need to be aware of what's going on and make sure that I do lots of pranayama. It helps me to strengthen that, and that I'm physical, that I do get on the mat and move energy. White Tantric Yoga. Now, so White Tantric Yoga, when I went through my Kundalini training certification, you could not get certified until you went through the White Tantric Yoga workshop. And this was just, it was a meditative practice. It works on clearing the deepest corridors of the subconscious mind. Since ancient times, humans have found that they have zillions of thoughts, billions of feelings, millions of emotions, thousands of desires, hundreds of fantasies, and multi-realities and personalities. Ultimately, our mind and thoughts rule or bog us down. We try every method available to get rid of this pressure because it is eating us up inside. White Tantric Yoga enables you to break through the subconscious block so you can enjoy life. This is the path to personal freedom and awareness, and will bring you more success in every area of your life. Yogi Bhajan. So in something like this with the White Tantric Yoga, I think there was maybe 50 or 60 of us, 70 of us. And we were actually they do this in Austin. I did this in Austin. And one of the exercises that we did is they lined us up, people on one line, and then there was another line, and you sat in front of the person. And we sat there for a very, very long time, and we were to just look in each other's eyes. Yes, that was some experience. Sometimes it could be just chanting a long time, or doing specific mudras. But that particular one that I remember, I was like, oh my goodness. But it's just to help clear away. Do we have any questions going on? Let me see what's happening. There's something going on in the chat. Let me address that. Yes, I found the numerology on the 3HO website. Antoinette, yes. Have fun with it. It's really, it's just interesting. And again, these are just all tools, just tools. So we're coming up towards the end of the presentation. Basically, what we learned through the weekend was the components of Kundalini Yoga and what you would experience in a class, and what you could experience as you're practicing and moving through your 10 bodies, and the energy body, the subtle energy bodies. And we use the 3 energy bodies of Ida, Pingala, and the Sushumna, the chakra system, the mantras, chanting the mantras, using our voice, the pranayamas, filling up our pranic body, the physical body, the movement, the exercises, and of course the mudras, so that we are whatever kind of mudra, because it could be a mudra like this where you're just in the Venus lock. But these mudras, when the fingers and the hands, the arms come together, they're connecting fields of energy within us to help us realign and align. Then I like that it came up that as yoga teachers, We want to be very aware that we're not taking on other people's stuff. We want to be sure to stay in our lane, teach what we know. And Sierra, one of the students that was here yesterday, shared how what she's realized about yoga is that it's a lifelong practice. It's a lifelong study, right? It just keeps going and going. And that's, in my experience, that's what's so awesome and so cool, is that your swadhyaya goes on and on. And then you build on your sadhana practice when you're getting on the mat or you're taking a walk. Your sadhana practice can be whatever tunes you in, brings you in to connect. Typically, yes, you want to incorporate some pranayamas, maybe some mantra or some mudra, some asana practice, but it just evolves and changes, organic, and it's yours. That's what's so, you be to be, right? We're in the Aquarius age, we be to be. Okay. At the end of class, now Kundalini class, we either will do 3 long satnams or 1 long satnam, say or sing the Irish prayer. With Zoom, I've been saying it a lot versus singing it. It is nice to sing. There's a lot, if you Google it, you can find lots of different versions. It's even on Pandora and Spotify, lots of different versions of the long time prayer. The long time prayer is, may the long time sun shine upon you. May all love surround you. And may light within you guide your way on. Oftentimes, the pure light within you guide your way on could be said 2 or 3 times at the end of class. And again, it's usually something at the end of class that is sung together. I see something coming in on the chat. Satanamkar is a really good one, yes. You know, that's a good question. What is the story with the Irish prayer and Kundalini? I never even thought to ask about the story because it's been there every time I go to a Kundalini class. So for the longest time, I didn't even know it was the Irish prayer until I took the training and learned more about it. That is a good question that I would have to get back with you on because it's not one that I'd ever thought to ask. It is just it must have been something I would, you know, my intuition tells me it was probably something that Yogi Bhajan started as a way of you know, blessing students and giving good thought at the end of class. It's a very grounding prayer. It's a very grounding essence of energy, and shared that with it. And it's just continued on. I'll have to look into the actual story behind it and when it came to be, because like I said, it's just always been there. It's just part of it. That's how you can kind of determine a more traditional type Kundalini class to maybe just a Kundalini eclectic move. They may or may not use the prayer, and both are good, right? This is not, remember, we're moving out of that duality mindset of, oh, that's good, that's bad, that's wrong, that's right. No, just different. Somebody chooses to teach Kundalini yoga that way. Somebody chooses to teach it this way. You know, some choose to wrap their head. I choose to wrap my head. It feels good to me. I feel protected. It feels safe. I like it. Somebody else, maybe not so much. Okay. Typically, Kundalini teachers wear white. It helps to balance the 10 bodies. Some choose that, some don't. It's okay. It's all good, right? It's all good. Okay. Trust the process. The guru is you. Everything you need is inside you. And then I found this little graphic. Thought it was pretty cool. The wisest guru is your inner you. And I think, with today's times, and especially with the discussion that we were having, where Nina was brought up about the book on Yogi Bhajan, and then we talked about Bikram Chaudhry and different people that have come to the West, and then they have people that start following them, and then they turn into the guru. That there was a time for that. Remember when we talked about the Piscean age, that would be the Piscean age, where you went to someone to tell you, what kriya do I do? What asana do I do? What pranayama is best for me? What color clothes should I wear? What should I eat? Well, you have to go through all these initiations and prove yourself. And if you master all these initiations and you prove yourself, I'll give you a nugget. Not anymore. That was Piscean age. Now it's about you do your sadhana. You search out what fills your cup, what resonates with you, what allows you to be of your highest resonance, your highest good, the highest service, and then trust in that. Okay, I got a couple of chats here. Thank you. He added prayer to this Kundalini practice. Thank you. That's what I figured. He heard it during a concert and he added it in. My intuition told me it must have been something that Yogi Bhajan, came across, and he was like, I like that. That's good. Now, my teachers have told me that with Yogi Bhajan, with a lot of the information that came through, I'm familiar with the term down, when you get something intuitively, like I shared with you, I had a spiritual awakening of feeling that pranic buildup in my back. And then I started thinking, I was like little nanobites that are in my body going, hey, we've got the intelligence here. We know there's a blockage here. We're going to move this for you so you can move a little freer in your spine. So I realized I've been to a Kundalini class without knowing it because I've heard that song before. Now, again, that could have been the Kundalini class that used that song. I was in a Bikram class and the teacher left and put her hands together and gave us that prayer. And I was like, whoa, that was a Kundalini Irish prayer. How sweet. She shared that with us. I was like, totally like, whoa, yay. But so more than likely though, if they did that song at the end of class, more than likely it Kundalini. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was me making a judgment through my perception that if that song is played, thank you very much for this, because I'm learning, that would make it a traditional Kundalini class. And I'm now realizing that was my truth that I shared, but I don't know that that's actually a truth. That was my story, my perception. So I want to own that, because to my understanding and through my perception, in most cases, it's the Kundalini system that would share that song. But that was not the best way I could have explained that, because it could be used anywhere. It's non-proprietorial. Anyone could go, hey, I like a Yogi Bhajan. Hey, I like that song. I'm going to add it in. You could have your Vinyasa class and go, hey, I like that song. I want to play it at the end, right? So it's not specific to Kundalini. It's not proprietorial. It's just very typical. I'll say that. It's just very typical to find that song at the end of a Kundalini class. That feels better. I was saying that version in a choir in middle school. Yeah. It was a gong healing. If it was a gong sound healing class, that sounds very Kundalini. There's a whole section in our teacher's manual about gong meditation and gong healing, which is really, really fun, but does not translate over Zoom.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I mentioned it yesterday that I had a resistance to taking Kundalini classes, but I like the gong sound healing classes that were taught by the Kundalini teachers. And I just didn't realize that was Kundalini, because we did some of the kriyas that we did yesterday.
Right. The gong is pretty intense sound meditation, sound healing. And if you're not used to that, it is a lot. But it is very much a part of the Kundalini system. And like, my Kundalini class that I attend in Norman, Oklahoma, she's got a gong and she'll play that, but she does it over the Zoom. It does not translate. Okay, now if I am correct, our session does end at 5, right? Okay, because I was going to say, if I was wrong and it ended at 5:30, we'd be getting on that mat. That's what we'd be doing. But I wanted to check out. I wanted to make sure that I was right, that it ends at 5. Thank you so much, Lauren. If you must go to bed, thank you. If you're available and the Kundalini Yoga is resonating with you as something that you would like to add into your regular practice or something that you would like to experience, we do have that through the live stream Monday at noon Central Standard Time and Fridays at 9 Central Standard Time. So that's available to you if you would like to tune into it. Does anyone else have anything else to share, either about your experience or if you have some questions? Now would be the time. 9 a.m. Friday, yes. Did I say 9 a.m. Friday, Central Standard Time? I hope. Oh, so for you it's 1 p.m. For me it's 12. So it's 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know, all these different time zones. Today I was thinking, because, I said last night after I finished the presentation, I had enough time to honor my commitment and pop into my 4 p.m. Kundalini class. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's almost like we're traveling through portals now with this Zoom. We can just pop in here and pop in there, but not leave our living room. I was like, yes, I'm letting it, it could be a little TMI. I'm letting it out. I wonder if drinking water would help. Oh, let me go. Yes. Drink water. Drink some water, perhaps even some lemon water. Balancing the emotions. A lot of times you may want to even work on the kidneys. Leah, Divine Love, Leah may be able to even give you some insight, unless you have to go on working with the heavy emotions. Now, it would be a very experience. That's why we've been talking about it when you're doing the Kriya, when you're balancing the systems. Drinking water is a great thing to do. Also, laying on your stomach, pressing the chin, not pressing, just the chin to the floor. The chin has an acupressure point that helps balance the emotions. The Kriya of Satanama would help to balance the whole system. And of course, some belly breathing that we practice today, just gentle belly breathing, inhaling your belly out, exhaling, the belly comes in. That would also alleviate some of those sensations and help you feel more balanced. Where is the live stream on the web page? Satnam, yeah, Satnam. Good question. Does anyone know right offhand? I'd have to go to the website and find it. I think it's under schedule. You go under schedule and then it pops up and then you're able to click on live stream classes, I believe. Yes, aside from the book from Yogi Bhajan, and before we close here in a couple minutes, we will close with our 3 long Satnams and the Irish prayer. So a couple more minutes and we'll do that together. Okay, so it's website studio live stream classes. Okay, and you can also access them through Mind Body. I saw a Kundalini book just today. Some girls brought it to the private lesson, my 2 clients, and it had a 4 from Yogi Bhajan. It had the cover, it said just Kundalini Yoga. and I want to say it was by Satkar Khalsa, I want to say, but it did have Kundalini yoga on it, and then a picture of someone sitting with the chakra system. When you're looking for books on Kundalini yoga, you could probably find a good array on 3ho.org, or go to the Kundalini Research Institute. They have some really good books there as well on Kundalini yoga. All right, so anything else, beautiful people? All right, all right. I first want to thank you all so much for attending the workshop this weekend. And I want to thank you for your intention and your energy and your insight. I want to also thank you for being my teacher and teaching me as well. It's synergy energy. Let's go with 3 long sat nams and enjoy the rest of our Sunday evening. All right? You're all so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Find a comfortable seated position. You're welcome to sit on the floor or sit in your chair. Ideally, you just want to sit in such a way that you can have a long spine, a lifted chest, and then palms rubbing together. Thumbs to the chest. Pull your Jarlin Har, Bandha lock, the chin lock. Lift and pull in the Mula Bandha lock by gently engaging the sphincter. Pull the navel point in gently and feel that energy flying up to the heart chakra. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you all so very, very much. Know that you can take all this with you and use it as a tool. You can always email me through My Vinyasa page or reach out to Michelle if you have any questions. I'm glad to be here for you and answer questions. Good night, Nina. Adriana, good night. Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Satnam, Satnam. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Olga, Christine, Shelby, Ocean. Thank you, Georgina, Jelena, Adrienne. Thank you. Thank you. I am certainly willing to stay on for a few more minutes if you all have anything that you would like to discuss on a more private level. That is what I'm here for. Lenise, thank you. Antoinette, thank you. Thank you, Georgina. Andrea, you wanted to ask a question? Yes? Do you want to ask it out loud, or is it something private, or? I'm right here. If you unmute yourself, I can hear you, but there's still some others here if you're comfortable with that. Okay, go ahead. Unmute yourself and ask away, love.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go. The name is Andrea, but actually it's my daughter's name. I just didn't know how to change it from the Zoom account. I
Right,
experienced
right. Okay.
I experienced something years ago, and it was
Okay.
very I did not know this happened, a Kundalini, and I started researching. It was like something that started on the bottom, and then it just spiraled all the way up, and it's like it blasted all the way through my head out. And it was like
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very happy. It was like I couldn't contain myself. And it was when
Mm-hmm.
I had given a hug to a person that I cared a lot about. And then that's when I started researching about Kundalini.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why does that happen? Is it because it's a very good feeling towards the person, or because you're feeling very happy?
Well, okay. So you can have a Kundalini release like that and it not be during a Kundalini class. There have been people that have fallen very hard and had a Kundalini release. In and in your case, you said you hug someone. So
Yes.
what I would say to that is that dissect it and go inside the body. So we have the vagus nerve that comes down from the head all the way to the perineum wall. And then we have the Sushumna energy that's going up, subtle energy that's following the track of the spine. And so with that being said, there could be times where, because it's what sparks the Kundalini upwards is when the vagus nerve comes over and touches the subtle energy of the Sushumna, and then poof, the energy goes up, right? And so in that case of you giving the hug, there is of course the chance that you may have done something like perhaps you went to hug in and you squeezed your navel point in, and that enlivened the nadi down the center, the vagus nerve, and then that energy channel hooked in to the Sushumna, and you had this Kundalini experience.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I've never heard of it before. And then when that happened, I was like, maybe I'm going crazy. And then I thought, no, this is something. And then somebody told me about that, and I started researching about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was
Yeah.
like I don't know. It was I was like, wow, this is like I was like, it just made me smile. Like I can't believe it's almost like I even thought I was gonna fall. Like it elevated me. Yes.
Yeah.
I was sitting down.
Yes. Yes. It you know, in that case, and especially since you were in an you weren't expecting it. It would be one thing if you were sitting in a class and the teacher's priming the pump and telling you, hey, you know, we're working our nadi and we're moving the energy up. You could experience some energy moving up your spine and out the top of the head. This could evoke some emotions. You might be happy or angry or laughing, crying. But in your case, it was just like, whoa, what was that? What just happened?
Yeah, it
And
was
so,
like I gave that hug. I hadn't seen this friend in a long time. So I gave him a big hug, and I was like, and they hugged me too. So I was like, oh my God. But it was like
yeah,
something, I felt like it was something very beautiful.
it sounds very beautiful, and it sounds like you handled it in a wonderful way where you allowed yourself to experience it, and then you became self-informed. Someone said something and you took on self-study and you started exploring and reading about it, and and you know, there's that catch 22 with that too, because with the internet there's as many things that says, oh, Kundalini experience, great, wonderful, and Kundalini yoga, oh my gosh, I love it, and oh, you should try Kundalini, yay, yay, yay. And then you can find another lane that says, oh, boo, Kundalini, ooh, no, this happened, that happened, and that's where that self sadhana practice, that inner knowing comes in, where you can go, well, this path, because it feels really good with me. When I practice it, it feels good. And I'm removing these blockages, and I'm learning more about myself and my body and how it works energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually, all these aspects. And I dig it, right? Now, also, if you're on it and you're like, ooh, this isn't for me, and that's okay too. Get out of that lane and get in a lane that serves you. Yes, did that help, Andrea? I'm glad you shared that with me, because
Yes.
it's funny. I even thought of that today and was going to bring it up about Kundalini experiences can happen with that hug. Um, I've known of people, I've read stories of people that, fell and whoo, the Kundalini energy, or working out, whoo, the Kundalini energy rises up through the spine. But again, we know how it works. Again, you got the vagus nerve going all the way down. We keep doing things to strengthen it, strengthen it, strengthen it. We've got the Sushumna. We've got Ida and Pingala moving up the spine, our chakra system working. But on those rare cases where something happens and the two meet, where you've got that, the vagus nerve meeting the Sushumna, and that energy going up, Kundalini experience.
Thank you so much.
You're so well. Did that get you where you needed to go? Do you feel good? Do you have your
Yes.
answer?
No,
Okay.
it's I don't know if I had experienced a blockage or something, but one time I even saw like I had bright color very low,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it was like healing some emotional trauma or something, like if it was stuck, because I felt that like spiral, like going up, and it's just I will always remember it. It was very, very,
Yes.
very interesting.
Yes. It sounds like a very interesting experience that you had. And it can too, they can have colors and visions and stuff like that. And that's where Yogi Bhajan and my teachers and teachers of Kundalini say, yes, experience that for what it is, but don't get attached to it. The Sanskrit word would be, that aparigraha, where we don't want to covet those
Right.
experiences or crave them or get attached to them, right?
Just feel grateful for them.
Just feel great, I mean, I would, in my experience, be like, whoa, that was cool experience. I'm glad that I experienced it, because it opened your
Yes.
mind and allowed you to take on more self-study.
Yes.
But it was your own personal experience, and I'm really glad that you were comfortable to share. Jelena says, I'm curious about the structure of a Kundalini class. Any rules on how the exercises are sequenced? Yes and no. It depends on the Kundalini class. There are some Kundalini classes where the teacher may just teach kind of freestyle Kundalini Kriyas and warm-up poses and things like that. My first Kundalini yoga teacher was, she studied Kundalini for 20 years, and she was at the Kashi Ashram in Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta at that time. And I was experiencing a lot of discomfort in my body. This was when I first started getting into yoga, about 1999. And I took her classes. Now, she had been in the Kundalini traditional system for about 20 years or so, and then decided to venture out on her own. And she was trying something different, doing something different. And she was at an ashram. I didn't know that I was taking Kundalini from her, with her. But it was all Kundalini, sequencing and Kriyas and postures. Now, she was at the point where we would just say, she would ask the class, how you're feeling, what would you like to work on? If somebody said, oh, I've got some shoulder stuff going on, my neck is tight, been having headaches, my sciatic nerve is bothering me, she would just ask different people of the class, and then she would sequence a class right there with different pranayama and mudra and all these different Kriya exercises. Now, she had a lot of experience to do that. Traditionally, if you're doing it, teaching a Kundalini class, there's Kundalini sequences out there, sets there's, like when I teach from the Kundalini sets. There's a set, Awakening the 10 Body, and it gives you all the Kriyas, the times, the instructions, the benefits, the everything. There's Kriyas for the lymphatic system. There's Kriyas to release anger. There's Kriyas to release sadness. There's Kriyas to help focus. There's all different kinds of Kriyas. So say you were a new Kundalini teacher, or a teacher in general. We all do this, and even new, it's encouraged even for new teachers to put together like an 8-week series. And so say I wanted to do a series 8 weeks long on the lymphatic system. I could look at all the different Kriyas and put together a system building on the lymphatic system and moving the lymph through the body. Or say I perhaps wanted to do one on the opening, releasing the inner kidneys or the adrenal glands, an adrenal gland Kriya segment. So that's, I wouldn't necessarily say, rules, but there are definitely, and, Yogi Bhajan, I did go through a KRI, Kundalini Research Institute training. And so in that training, they did encourage the students that they were teaching to be teachers to stay with the Kriyas that are prescribed through KRI Institute or through Yogi Bhajan's teacher manual or stuff like that. They did encourage that. And I just tend to stick pretty close to that because those are Kriyas that are specific. You're practicing a Kriya for a specific result in most cases. And so staying with that manual allows me to drive that way. That answers your question, Jelena? Did I say that right? Is it Jelena or Jelena? Yes. Right. Okay, let's see. I got nothing else up in the chat. And is anyone else? Any more questions? Are we good?
I wanted to ask one last question.
Okay.
It's more about like energy and what you were saying about empathic. I work with a lot of students and I'm a high school teacher, and sometimes it used to affect me, and now I'm trying to get stronger and help them, but not to the point that it hurts me because I'm like that. And there was a point that is it possible that you give energy to some people? Because one time I touched somebody and that person actually went, oh my gosh. Instead of like repelling and creating sparks, is like he felt it and it went right through him.
Oh gosh, yes, that is possible.
And he just went like, oh my gosh, and then we were just both smiling. Like we wanted always to keep each other like empowered and happy. And he felt it, and it's like it went through him, not like usually that I would touch somebody and it would just like spark. No, it's like it went through that person. And I was always very like, always trying to help. And I don't know if he was down at that time, but I touched him and he just went, oh my gosh. If he felt that, I don't know, but it didn't come back. It's like he absorbed it. I was like, that was very interesting.
Yes. For you, Andrea, I would suggest looking into perhaps just take this for what it is, see if it resonates with you, but you might look into Reiki. If you're able to transmute that kind of energy, there's a healing modality, Reiki. So you might want to look into that and see if it resonates with you. That way you're able to learn how to contain that energy and control it more when sharing. Like you're like just, so you're just not giving your power away or giving your energy away.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's a beautiful thing, but with that kind of
it
projection
at times.
of energy, you know, studying things like Reiki, or if you're in the medical field, a lot of people go for the healing hands technique, because hospitals allow you to do healing, not all of them, but there are hospitals that allow you to do healing hands technique, which is like Reiki, but a little bit different. So I would encourage to do some self-informed work on that. And I'm gonna sit back here and see if it resonates with you and if you want to move into that realm. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your advice. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Just take it, you know, see if it resonates with you, but definitely so. If you're, if you've experienced that, you might want to look into that and just see if Reiki or healing hands is something that you would like to investigate and explore.
I sure will. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're so welcome. And are we good? Do we have any other questions, concerns, comments? Yeah. All right, then I am going to end the meeting if we're good. All right. So much love to you both. Satnam. Namaste. Satnam. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you so much. And all I can see is 882268. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. Satnam. Bye-bye.